What's up guys, Woo here, back again with another Division 2 video, and if you enjoyed this one, drop a thumbs up, and if you enjoy my content, please subscribe to the channel. Now guys, Year 2 is only a few months away. In the next 8 weeks, we're likely to get that Year 2 drop, or we should be in a position where we know exactly what we're going to get and the cost of the content, because let's face it, it will be paid content. The first year of content has been lackluster, underwhelming, and in all honesty, it is perhaps the worst year of content in any game that I've ever played. And yes, it is free, admittedly so, but still, they were singing from the rooftops that this is going to be free content, it's going to be great. It's not, it's been lackluster, it has been absolutely dog shit, in all fairness. But moving forward, now we know State of the Game. We're going to talk about January topics. January the 15th is going to be talking about item stats, RNG and UI, where Frederick brings the thunder. And January the 22nd, they're going to talk about recalibration and skill power. And January the 29th, episode 3 and specialization number 6, which I'm hopeful for the flamethrower specialization. It just has to be. It's got to be. Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about comments and dialogue that has occurred on Twitter between community members and Frederick. And Frederick has given us so many indicators what is going to happen in Year 2 and in terms of the revamp. And that's good to see, because in all honesty, if you just talk about any of the developers, we know that they don't communicate, they don't talk, they don't give us anything. We watch State of the Game, it does feel like a bunch of mates having a laugh, having a bit of a social gathering, and it does feel very clicky. If I'm wrong in saying that, I apologise, but that's just how it is. That's what I perceive from the stream. So it frustrates me when the game is such in dire straits. I want to see some passion and energy. And in all fairness, and kudos to Frederick, he has come out time and time again and been very communicative with the community. So thank you, Frederick, for being awesome. Now we know what the topics are. Again, we've got a lack of a roadmap, which is frustrating. And again, this has been the case for a long time. I like to see dates, and I like to see these dates met. Talk about Destiny roadmaps. Again, they rarely miss these dates. Whereas Division, there is a roadmap, but there is no dates. There's just a quarter. That means diddly squat to me, and that gives me no faith that they will meet that set quarter. It's frustrating. So I understand where they are, and they're going through a huge, massive revamp for Year 2. And it's make or break. It genuinely is. And if they mess this up, they will lose the play base. It's as simple as that. So they need to get this as perfect as possible. And so far, what I've read does give me a little bit of excitement, because the changes that I want personally in the game, and I do feel I speak for a lot of the community, and they do feel exact the same. Now let's go through some of these comments. And the first comment I want to talk about is from iLux. He's asked Frederick, you should have to sacrifice DPS and skill power to be a true tank, or tankiness and DPS to use high skill power for heals or damage, and obviously sacrifice tankiness and skill power to run true DPS or be a glass cannon. Right now you can be tanky, have max skill power and hit hard. Frederick has responded, we agree, and that's coming. And that is just beautiful, sweet music to me. Because if anyone can tell me an RPG that lets you do all of this like the Division 2 does, and more, then please tell me in the comment section. Because I've played quite a few RPGs, and I know it's not a thing. It just doesn't happen. That's why the whole mechanic in terms of building is so skewed. It is so fundamentally flawed. There are serious issues, and that's why Frederick and the team have put umpteen hours into this revamp, and for that I think it's a great thing. So I know for a fact there will be people watching this video now, and they will say, I have to rework my builds, I will have to change my build will be broken, it will be... Guys, firstly, this is a looter shooter. This is what the essence of those games are. From time to time there'll be patches, there'll be updates, and they're there to balance the game, buff, nerf, etc, etc. And this is where we have to refarm and grind. It's what we invest in, the looter shooter aspect. That's how these type of games exist. So I expect this to happen. So your builds right now, they might work as intended. Go into year 2 with this revamp, and when it's active, you will have to refarm. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, guys. And again, yes, it's frustrating, but that's part and parcel of what we've invested in. But in all honesty, removing this crap in the game, this I can hit like a truck and have great seeker mines and you can't kill me with my 600k armor, that's going to be gone. I know you will see an abundance of YouTube videos advertising these builds, which frustrates me. It really gets my goat, but it is what it is. That's available. That's what you can do. That's what you can build. So be it. So none of these legacy pieces are going to exist with these 30% armor. They will not exist. This is great news for balance. Great news for the game. Now, Mr. Ilux, he did ask another question, which again is music to my ears and something that we need to bear in mind going into year 2. The next raid shouldn't have us limited to everyone having DPS builds. We should be able to have healers and tanks as well. Speaking of tanking, can we please have a proper tank specialization or shield damage resilience mods? More health for it. Frederick, the gear revamp will focus heavily on supporting roles. The raid is made with this in mind. Again, guys, anyone that's done the raid will know it is primarily focused on DPS and how much damage you can output. Now we know confirmed for the next raid there will be the huge focus on that support role. Again, you go through any raid, this is an integral part of that team synergy, is having these roles in place. So again, communication is key. Synergy will be even more key. So guys, this is an exciting move for the game. Trust me, the raid should have this diverse approach and mechanic driven. And given these builds will be a thing in year 2, that just gives anyone who wants to complete the raid that little bit of optimism to say, I'm a healer. Guys, who needs a healer? And you'll be go-to. You'll be wanted and needed, where we know now in year 1 and the current raid, that's not really a thing. Can't really happen. So, in terms of gear and talent attributes, there will be changes. Guys, trust me, there will be an abundance of changes. So much to try and get a head round that the next few weeks state the games, there's a lot of information to try and digest. And I will try and cascade it down as simplified as possible. Now, Call Me Dardy has asked, hey there, as a guy who loves to PvP in Div 2, I just have a few questions in regards to future plans. If you find the time to answer, that would be awesome. With the coming rework, will that affect how powerful all DPS talents are? Strained, Clutch, Berserker, Boomerang, etc. Yes, every talent in the game will be affected by this rework, so we know there will be huge talent changes, huge gear changes, weapon changes, attributes. There's going to be so much changing. It will feel like a new beast, and it will be. So that year 2 launch, we're going to be sitting there trying to gather what the hell is going on. It will take time, but change is good because we know the current state of the game is poor. It is. So these changes, whatever they may be, can only be a positive thing because of the huge rework. And my honest belief is if we just go back to Division 1, the guy spent 2 years trying to perfect the systems and balancing in that game. That, again, it took him 2 years. I was hopeful, me personally was hopeful that they would learn from Division 1 where there was a point where the game was in a good place for one and all. Year 2 in a little bit, Skill did a revisit video and said, if you want to go back to Division, this is the best time to go back because the game feels great. It feels superb. PvP is good. PvE is great. There's so much of wealth in the game that you wouldn't go wrong by picking this up. Now, I was hopeful they would take the best bits from Year 2 Division and put them into Year 1 Division 2. And that was my hope. And I was hoping they would learn from the mistakes that they made and the positive influences that were brought into the game. That was my hope, and it's not happened. But as long as time goes on, I do believe they're making this game more like Division 1. That may frustrate some of the community. However, if you enjoy Division 1, like most of us did, you will see these changes are good, positive changes for the game. So, something I'm excited to see what they bring to the table in year 2. But just expect lots and lots of changes. Now, weapons and weapon kind of talents and weapon bonuses. Something I do want to discuss because these may change in year 2. In fact, they probably will change in year 2. And why do I say that? Check this out. The Phantom Prince. SMG's buff. Yes, they got a lot of buff in TU6, but they're still so weak compared to ARs or LMGs. My Vector hits for 22k, but due to high armor, makes it feel like I'm shooting marshmallows. Now, I agree with the guy completely. Frederick has responded, that's because they have crit chance, armor and LNG bonuses are currently multiplicative, so they are stronger. This is getting fixed. So guys, are we losing that multiplicative bonus and just having that additive bonus? Could happen. That's what could happen with the game, and how the balancing aspect with ARs and LMGs. So there will be a change to current weapon types. Definitely, we can see that coming. And again, as I said, currently it's multiplicative. I've got a funny feeling they're going to make it additive, which will make SMGs, give them a bit of a buff effectively in year 2. So that's something to bear in mind in the next update. So the Phantom Prince, or the Phantom Prince, I don't know, asked this question that some people may want to know because it's something that was heavily used in Division 1 and you can't really do it in Division 2, and that is armor kits. Any changes to making us pop armor kits on the move? We won't change it at base level. Gaining health will be either something you can do on the move because there's something in your build that makes it so, or something that takes time and opportunity. That's the intended balance. So again, we can see something happening here. As it stands, armor kits, you know, you got to get in cover, pop your armor kit, especially in PvP. PvE, again, sometimes you can afford to stand up, but something to bear in mind that there will be, again, some kind of change to that kind of respect. Not too sure what, but something, again, in the build that will make it a little bit different. But I'm leaving this best one to last because for me this is highly important. Now, when I've played Division 1 for hours and hours and hours, and I was in it, whether it be PvP or against NPCs, I always wanted to be in a team, and in terms of having a role in that team. So you would be communicative with your teammates, and you would see what they're running, what build they're running. So, for example, I was quite a fond fan of the D3 build. So we know D3 is a great support system build because, you know, with that high stamina, you can tank a lot of damage. Yet you couldn't hit very strong, but you would also buff your teammates. And that was the kind of great support system. And then you'd have something like a Reclaimer that would just keep your guys alive. Or you'd have something like a Tactician or a Firecrest that could deal some great burn damage from the turret, or your Seekers. Or again, run something like a nice support station. You'd have options, but the good thing with Division PvP, Division 1 PvP that was, there'd be that great group synergy. And you know the best teams would have a great composition of different types of builds. And, you know, if you look at Division 2 now, pretty much everyone runs the same stuff. 80% of builds in PvP are identical. And again, if you were lucky enough to have these massively awesome armor pieces that you can roll onto other fantastic pieces, you are just way ahead of everybody else. That won't be a thing moving forward. But I did want to bring this to your attention. This is a comment from, was it Bark Rodriguez Tran? True, but gear sets in Div 1 had team synergy. You could cater each gear set to a specific role. Healer, support, DPS. I feel these gear sets in Division 2 don't offer that flexibility, and most of them are pretty underwhelming. They fit a niche, but I have no interest in using them. So Frederick has replied, oh, absolutely agree. Which is why, and the spoilers, gear sets are part of the big upcoming revamp. Michael Rouse, Myself and the group I played with are getting our hopes up. We missed that synergy from D1 so much. Bring back the 4 versus the server, please. And Frederick responded, and this is the news we all need to hear. Our group synergies are a huge focus of the update. So from this, what we see straight away is one, gear sets are back. Gear sets are going to be awesome. So my advice, make sure you have a good selection of gear set items in your inventory or your stash. Make sure you have one of each where possible, because there will be a change, and a good change at that. And the one thing I do know from reading other comments is that Frederick has said, again, there will only be a talent on the chest piece and the backpack of gear sets. So again, bear that in mind. That won't change. But they will be team oriented, team focused builds, and that's what I want. Also, is the group synergy another key focus point to take on board. That's exactly what we bloody want. We need that synergy for team-based builds. And again, I've done a lot of team PvP in Division 2, and everyone's running the same crap. That's it. There's no synergy whatsoever. And I love synergy. When I do builds, I look how they synergize with my group and myself. And that's what I want when I build and when I go into team dynamics in PvP. And then also PvE, you know, yeah, the minute everyone runs the same build, it's a skill build. I'm hoping there is that Year 2 revamp that will just rebalance the game and just open things up a little bit, so diversity is key. So guys, this is where we stand. We will hear more from Frederick on 15th of January in State of the Game, but I do feel there are some massive changes. And when it comes to Year 2, it'll be a different bloody game, trust me. We will be scratching our heads wondering what to do and what to find and where to get it, and that's the good thing. So my advice now is, if you like me and you like picking your gear sets up, you like having support builds or skill builds, then take into consideration that gear sets will be great. And we know, going back to Div 1, that gear sets were what you needed to thrive and strive towards, because gear set classified items would have a bigger bigger attributes and stats, so you will be able to have some really good builds and have some power with those sets. And I'm hoping they do that for Year 2. It just gives me that little bit of optimism. By all means, we never know, it might fall flat on its face, we don't know, but again, I'm looking forward to the next 3 weeks of the information that they do cascade down to the community. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think of this comment in the comment section, what you think of this video, and also what you think is going to happen in Year 2. There's some nailed on things here that will just make the game better that Frederick has confirmed. So guys, I am excited, but with bated breath. I want to see it happening, and if it happens, I'm happy. If it doesn't, new game, here we come. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. You want to see more Division 2 content, please smash pound the sub button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.